Hi, welcome back to Orange Therapy on YouTube. My name is Julie. I am a mental health counselor in South Carolina, and today we are going to take a deep, short dive into just a portion of Brené Brown's book, Atlas of the Heart. We're going to be looking at the difference between belonging and fitting in. She describes it on page 157 in her book. She states, "True belonging doesn't require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are." Pretty powerful. Sit back and let's learn about this together. All right, well, welcome back. So we're talking about belonging versus fitting in, and belonging is an irreducible human need. We need love, we need belonging, we need acceptance. We need to know that just as I am accepted, that I am okay. We want to be a part of something. That's why we try to fit in, but in fitting in, it costs our authenticity, our freedom, and our power, because you are determining what's okay in me if I'm trying to fit in. I'm not. I'm trying to be the person that you want me to be if I'm fitting in. If I belong, I get to be the person I am with authenticity. I get to be quirky, weird, sensitive me. But if I am trying to fit in, then I have to shove some of that down. And I have to figure out what it is you want. And if I'm trying to figure out what you want me to be, then my anxiety goes up because I want to do it right. Right? I want to be the person that you want me to be. In the book, Brené has a section where she has middle schoolers describe the difference between fitting in and belonging, and I think they're really powerful. The first one she has listed here is belonging is being somewhere you want to be and they want you, just like you are, right? They want you. Fitting in is being somewhere where you want to be, but they don't care one way or the other. Oof. That hurts, right? Belonging is being accepted for you. Fitting in is being accepted for being like everyone else. So if I'm wearing the right clothes, if I'm saying the right words, if I'm carrying myself the right way, if I look the right way, if I'm the right size, then I'm going to fit in. But if I don't, then there's something wrong with me and I don't fit in. I feel on the outside and I'm separated from other people. If I belong, I can be me even if I'm heavy with pimples and, don't know how to speak or how to be, and people just accept me like that. There are people who accept people like that. Then I belong. Then I feel good to be me and I can start to work on me and I can change. If I get to be me, I belong. If I have to be like you, I fit in, is what the last young person said. They went further to describe the pain of not belonging at home. And these are their descriptions, and they're really painful, and I want you to listen, parents, but I also want you to listen from your heart as a young person, because some of these might resonate with you. It says not belonging at school is really hard, but it's nothing compares to what it feels like when you don't belong at home. And not belonging at home might look like not living up to your parents' expectations. Another child said not being as cool or popular as your parents want you to be. You feel like there's something wrong with you, right? You don't belong because you're not accepted, because you're not being what they want you to be. You're not being accepted for who you are. Not being good at the same things your parents were good at. In order to be acceptable, in order to belong in the family, I have to be good at the things that you're good at. I have to follow in your footsteps. I have to do the things that you did in order to belong. Another student said, your parents being embarrassed because you don't have enough friends, or you're not an athlete or a cheerleader like they want you to be. Your parents not liking who you are or what you like to do. They're not interested in you. It hurts. Right? Again, I don't belong because I'm not accepted. I have to be the way you want me to be in order for me to be acceptable. When your parents don't pay attention to your life, another student said, they feel like they don't fit in, like they don't belong. They can try to change, they can try to get the attention as we could, but true belonging demands that we are who we are, not change who we are, and that we're accepted. But I first have to accept myself. So I can accept myself and work toward changing myself. I can accept that this is me the way I am right now, but I can be working towards some areas of improvement. But if I never improve, I'm still okay. I'm still worthy of belonging. I'm still worthy of standing in the arena. I don't have to hustle for your approval. I don't have to do the things that you want me to do in order to be liked by you, in order to be worthy of being loved and accepted by you. In the absence of that, in that void of love and belonging, there's suffering. And we heard that in the students' comments. We suffer when we are not accepted for who we are. You know, when we're judged, when we're teased for being, when we're bullied for being different than somebody else and forced to change who we are to be like somebody else. Now, I'm not talking about we need to learn to be polite. And I think I covered that in a previous episode. You know, we all need to learn to be polite, but what that's going to look like for one child who is very outgoing is going to look different for another child who is more quiet and reserved. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with either one of them. Neither of them need to change, but they both need to learn how to interact appropriately, right? They both belong in social situations. They don't have to both be one way in order to fit in. Our society might tell us something different. Our peers in middle school in particular might tell us something different. That's the very age where everybody is trying to not stand out, but stand out because they want to fit in, but they want to fit in the most perfect way. It's an impossible thing to do. Again, I can only belong. We can only belong if we present and accept ourselves. And it requires us being vulnerable. It requires us getting uncomfortable. It requires us recognizing that I don't need to change me for your acceptance. I think about, and I may have used this as an example, but it's another really good example here. When I first started counseling, I was being supervised by a woman who was very different than me in her counseling style. And Roberta, if you watch this, thank you so much. She gave me the freedom to be who I was. I didn't have to fit in and become like her as a counselor. I belonged as a counselor with all of the things that I had learned, and I was going to do it the way I did it. Exactly as I was, exactly as I am. I'm going to do things like I am. And Roberta is going to do things like she is. I belong as a highly sensitive person. And for those of you who are highly sensitive people out there, you belong in arenas too. Sensitivity doesn't mean weakness, but it does mean that you need to care for yourself differently as a result of your trait. It does require that you understand yourself so that you aren't judging yourself, so that you know that you are valuable just as you are, so that you can lovingly accept yourself. Brené says, be here, be you, belong. And if we know who we are, if we understand our traits as highly sensitive people, and if you are, read this book. If you think you might have a highly sensitive person in your life, read this book. If you think that you are a highly sensitive person, I absolutely encourage you to read this book. If you don't know what a highly sensitive person is and you don't understand it, read the book. Everybody should read the book. But we need to understand that however we are, let's say we're not a highly sensitive person. Let's say we're one of the people on the other end of the spectrum. You're acceptable exactly as you are, and the world needs you too. The world needs those people who are going to run full on and test the boundaries and have thick skins, and because we're here for different jobs. It doesn't mean that one is right and one is wrong. It means that we're different. We're all acceptable and should be accepted just as we are. If we try to fit in arenas where we don't fit in, We run the possibility of becoming overextended, becoming anxious, becoming not ourselves, of losing ourselves. And that can lead to depression. It's not something worth playing with. We need to learn, even though it's difficult, to be vulnerable, to get uncomfortable with this sense of belonging instead of fitting in. I don't need to be like you to be here. I can be in the running club and not be the fastest runner. I still belong. I'm a person who runs. I don't need to be a star athlete to belong in a family of athletes, because I might have a gift to play the piano, and that's what I love to do. I need to be free to be me and be accepted as me and encouraged to try other things, but accepted for who I am, not judged for being that way. And that judgment can't even come from ourselves. We need to first belong to ourselves so that we can belong anywhere. I hope that you can. I hope that you recognize that you are welcome here at Orange Therapy exactly as you are. And I hope that you learn to be that everywhere you go. Get the book, Get the book by Brené Brown that we have been studying. Read through it. Tell me your thoughts. Where have you felt like you have tried to fit in but really lost yourself? Because we do lose ourselves when we try to fit in. We feel unseen, unknown, right? If I'm trying to fit in, if I'm trying to be like you, then I'm wearing a mask. You don't know who I am. It's a very lonely spot to be. I need to truly belong. I might go out and try something and say to my friends, I don't really enjoy this, but I thought I'd give it a try. It's okay to go out and do things that you don't really enjoy, to try it, to stretch yourself. You still can belong. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, jmullins for orangetherapy@gmail.com. And as always, I hope that you join me here back at Orange Therapy on YouTube. You do belong here. You are welcome here, exactly as you are.